In 2020, China's Yangtze River Basin saw its biggest flood since the devastating flood in 1998. The inflow from the Three Gorges Reservoir rose rapidly and reached a peak flow rate of 50,000 cubic meters per second on July 17th, making it the largest flood on the Yangtze River this year. Subsequently, the Three Gorges Dam began to discharge the floodwater. The Three Gorges Reservoir saw an inflow of 46,000 cubic meters per second at 8 p.m. on July 19th, and the second flood on the Yangtze River this year passed through the dam smoothly. How did the Three Gorges Dam deal with China's severe floods this year? Situated in Yichang, Hubei, in central China along the middle reaches of the Yangtze River, the Three Gorges Dam is 3,335 meters long and 185 meters high, and has a flood control storage capacity of 22.15 billion cubic meters. The project was designed to tame China's longest river, the Yangtze River, by trapping incoming water from the upper reaches of the river and thus shielding people in the middle and lower reaches of the river from a once-a-century flood. Here's how the flood control measures work. First, retaining floodwater. The dam intercepts water from the upper reaches in a huge reservoir to keep the water level of the middle and lower reaches of the river below a dangerous level. Second, clipping flood peaks. The dam reduces the intensity of floods coming from upstream and then reduces downstream discharge to curb flooding. Third, shifting flood peaks. After the reservoir stores the floodwater, the downstream floods can be removed to prevent upstream and downstream flood peaks from occurring at the same time. The whole process is dynamic rather than static, as the three steps alternate in a smooth and orderly manner instead of always keeping the floodwater in the reservoir. Once the downstream flood control situation improves, the reservoir will increase the discharge of water and free up storage for potential future floods. Take the number 2 flood on the Yangtze River this year, for example. The flood occurred at the Three Gorges Reservoir at 10 a.m. on July 17th and reached a peak of 61,000 cubic meters per second at 8 a.m. on July 18th. This lasted for 18 hours. It wasn't until 8 a.m. on July 21st that the inflow dropped to 30,000 cubic meters per second. It turned out to be the largest flood this year. The impoundment of the reservoir reached 10.7 billion cubic meters with a peak clipping rate of 46.7%. What is the peak clipping rate? If 100 cubic meters of floodwater flows into the reservoir and 20 cubic meters of that flows out, then the peak clipping rate would be 80%. It is an important index to measure the effect of a reservoir on flood control and impoundment, directly reflecting the contribution rate of a reservoir in flood control. The Three Gorges Reservoir has successfully dealt with 6 floods during the flood season this year, with a total of 18.2 billion cubic meters of water retained, effectively guaranteeing the safety of the downstream areas. Actually, it is not the Three Gorges Reservoir's sole responsibility to control floods and retain floodwater in the Yangtze River Basin, but a cluster operation of comprehensive flood control systems, which consist of the Three Gorges as the core and other main and tributary reservoirs, flood storage and detention areas, and river channel improvement projects working in concert. It's technically called Joint Dispatch. 41 water control projects exist now in the whole Yangtze River Basin under the Joint Dispatch arrangement, with a total storage capacity of 88.4 billion cubic meters. In addition, there are more than 30,000 real-time flood monitoring stations in the basin and an automatic hydrological monitoring network that covers the main tributaries. Coupled with precise 3-day weather forecasts, the flow rate and timing of an upstream flood peak can be quickly and accurately ascertained in advance, so that the effective joint operation of the reservoir cluster can be achieved. However, the completion of the Three Gorges project does not mean that the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River can rest easy. The project is mainly designed to retain floodwater from the upper reaches of the Yangtze River. However, it won't be able to prevent floods on the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze or the tributaries in its basin, and is unable to take on the role of a drainage facility. Besides flood control, the Three Gorges project also has other benefits such as water replenishment, power generation, and transport. It plays an increasingly important role in the development of the Yangtze River Economic Belt, ensuring flood control safety, shipping safety, water supply, and ecological security in the region. It even plays a part in China's energy safety. The Yangtze River runs 6,300 kilometers from western China's Qinghai Tibet Plateau to the East China Sea. While too much water could cause disasters, every drop of water is a gift from nature during flood-free years. The permanent mission of the Three Gorges Water Project is to utilize the river to benefit the people.